Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Strategic Business Influencer, my new series for leaders who know that in today's evolving world, trust is the greatest competitive advantage. Today's guest, I'm so excited to introduce Gordon Doran. So he is a serial entrepreneur and the founder and CEO of Natran Green Pest Control, Houston and Austin's original eco-friendly pest service provider. He also owns Advantage Pro Services, a leading home services company. Gordon launched Natran in 2006 to protect people, pets, and the planet from pests without relying on harsh chemicals, a mission that is still at the heart of the company today. By pairing powerful botanically based products with expertly trained professionals, Natran delivers year-round protection for homes and businesses while earning award-winning customer satisfaction. For Gordon, success is more than just growth. It's about building healthier communities and helping his team and customers thrive. Now, you all are in for a treat today because Gordon is an incredible entrepreneur, one of my really good friends, and I just learn so much from him every time I have the opportunity to sit down with him. So I'm grateful that we get to share his wisdom with you all today. So Gordon, welcome to the series.
Wow. Thanks, Paige. I appreciate it. What a nice introduction.
Absolutely. Well, as I mentioned, you have built multiple businesses and successful companies throughout your career. I want to go back to the very beginning. So what's the earliest entrepreneurial venture that you remember starting?
Ooh, well, I have a funny story for you. Um, when I was 14 years old, I knew I was motivated and I wanted to get out and make some money and do some things. So there was a McDonald's that was about a mile from my house, and I decided I'd walk there. I knew I was only 14 years old and see if they'd hire me. So I got there and I said, first thing I said is, how old do you have to be to work here at McDonald's? And the manager said, you have to be 15. I said, perfect. Then I just said, I'm 15. So he gave me an application and I filled it out and he hired me. I was tall. I'm 6'2", so I was a tall kid. And that was my first experience of learning of getting out, making things happen. And that just took motivation. First entrepreneurial journey was in college. I started a company called Cougar's Apartment Locator at the University of Houston. And what I did is I did apartment locating for students. I realized being a student, I needed a place to live in an apartment, and there was 30 something thousand other students on campus, and it was a commuter school. And a friend of mine was telling me at UT that he got an apartment through Longhorn Apartment Locating. And I thought, wow, what a great idea. I'm going to copycat that idea and start Cougar's Apartment Locating here at the University of Houston. So got my real estate license over the summer, and I was in business, putting flyers around campus, all over campus, you could pull the phone number off, give me a call, and I'd find you an apartment. And so that was a lot of fun. That was my first experience in the entrepreneurship world. But I knew at that time that I was going to do this entrepreneur thing. I was sold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. Real estate license and everything.
Yeah.
What did you learn from that first venture?
I learned a lot. Well, first, what I learned is I didn't have to have this brilliant idea to be an entrepreneur to start my own business. It was simply seeing what's already working and copying it. It was just that simple. Like, he told me what was happening in Austin, and it just is all right. Well, it's just a matter of putting the energy behind it and doing it. So I did it. I learned at McDonald's and going through my career is I learned about care. I learned what it looked like to be a good boss and a bad boss, having multiple bosses in McDonald's and even at Walmart. So that struck a chord with me. Is I knew which one I liked and why I liked them, and I knew which one I didn't like and why I didn't like him. And it was very evident. The one that cared about me and asked about my day and would buy me something, buy me, hey, why don't you take a break and eat some fries, was the one I really wanted to show up for and work hard for. And I did. And his name is Ruben, and I don't remember his other manager's name,
Mm.
but I would run through a brick wall. That guy cared about me, and that was important. And he showed it, and I didn't want to let him down.
Yeah. Yeah, I swear McDonald's produces some of the best entrepreneurs that are out there today. I see
It's
that
funny
as
you say
a
that.
common thread.
Yeah, I constantly run into people that have worked at McDonald's. It's so true.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know you've done some, door-to-door sales businesses in your time as well. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I do think that's where you probably learn a lot just getting out there with the service and product.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, so that's exactly right. Um, Again, it was the copycat idea. I didn't need to have the brilliant idea. I Washing windows is low overhead, so that's where it
Mm.
started with the door to door for me. Um, it was just a matter of being brave enough to do it, and that was all in my mind. That was this idea that people are going to hate me and slam the door in my face. What are you doing on my lawn? I mean, I've knocked doors for a large portion of my career, and that's just not true. Folks are wonderful. My philosophy and the way that I looked at it and I positioned it is, I better knock on this door and let these folks know that I can wash their windows, because they might hire a contractor that's just not going to treat them right and do a
Yeah.
good job for them. So I changed my thought process on it as, I'm out here helping people, avoiding a costly mistake with dealing with the contractor or somebody else washing their windows who is going to do a shoddy job and just not take care of them. So reframing it was a game changer for me. So I was able to go door to door, and once I had one customer, just let the neighbors know, hey, I'm out here today. Love to help you out with window cleaning. Mrs. Johnson down the street is a great customer of mine. If I could be of any help, I'd love to give you a free estimate. And it took off. But it was all about reframing and repositioning the story that we tell ourselves. And my
Mhm.
story could have easily been um, everybody's going to be annoyed and mad and that I'm on their front lawn. And it just wasn't true. I mean,
Mm.
in the 12 years I knocked doors, less than a handful of times someone said, hey, you shouldn't be here. It didn't happen. What people will do is just not open the door if they don't want to. So that's what I found.
I love that though, and I love that the mindset shift is what you're talking about there. And I want to dive into the sales side of it a bit, because service businesses really live and die on trust, and a lot of that starts at that first interaction during that sell, and then of course continues based on the level of service. I'm curious how you've built long-term loyalty with customers in industries where oftentimes for you, they're just shopping for the cheapest option. So how do you sell that value? Because with Natran, you're not all the time the cheapest option out there.
No, not at all. No, and it starts internally. So that message starts our purpose and our passion, and my passion for doing this, like you mentioned earlier in my introduction, is I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to do something impactful uh, in the community. I just didn't want to do something that would deliver a paycheck. I wanted to do something that really struck a chord with me, that I knew that I could leave and say, hey, look, I've really helped out here in the community. But that started with the employees, and that started once we started building this thing. Is our purpose, our passion is about helping people live the best people, planet, pet friendly lifestyle they can.
Mhm.
We just happen to kill bugs. And then taking that to the folks that we hire, that same philosophy is, I wanted them to know that they have a safe place to come. Well, we want to position them. If you're going to do pest control, we want to make sure that you're positioned where you're not using toxic products and things that we're concerned about for your family. So positioning that with our staff and understand that, look, you're here. We care about you. This is our philosophy. There's no go get the stuff out of the back. This is how we do things here. And we do it for you first and your
Mhm.
families. And that allows us to deliver for our customers and their families. But yes, totally, we push that and we communicate that and we care about that within our four walls, because nothing happens if the belief isn't within our own core belief system. And that's what we hire and that's what we communicate. And that's why folks work here. When I look around my team and my leadership team, they're not here because they want to kill bugs. They want here because they want to make a difference and they understand our mission, our purpose, and because they have options. They're not here
Yeah.
because they have to be. They're here because they want to be, and that's what makes it fun. So that's how we show up for our customers, and why no, we're not the cheapest, but we're going to be there. We're going to take care of the problem. We're going to care, and that's at the end of the day is what people want. Look, we've all dealt with contractors. We all, I get this all the time, how horrible contractors are, and no one wants to deal with that. We're building trust, and that's what it is we're building trust in the community and with the folks we work with.
And I love that you talk about inward, what that means. I mean, y'all are walking the walk and you have to be able to do that before you can, exude that trust with others. And so I think that is absolutely so key. And, I know pest control and home services in general just can feel like a commodity, really from the outside. I see the trucks driving around all over town with different branding. What has been your approach to making sure that Natran stands out? Because if you go to your website, if you see y'all driving around, if they see you out in the community, it's just such a different brand than a lot of the other pest control services and companies out there. And so I'm curious, what was that approach for you while you were building that so that people really understood the value?
Yeah, absolutely. It's utilizing being green, being 100% committed to green, to our mission of low impact, minimal risk products, green products, differ exempt, food grade products. They're extremely effective. And then hiring the folks that are passionate about it to beat the drum and to be part of it. But that's our message. And it's everywhere. I mean, it's on our trucks, it's on our website. You see it on our face. It's what makes it fun is delivering on that promise that we will show up, we will take care of your problem, and we're going to do it based on our value system and stay true to it. That green approach, that green thumb approach has been our differentiator. And that's why folks reach out to us initially with a lot of questions. Does it really work? Is it going to, there's a ton of questions we get around our branding and what we do. And just folks want to make sure, because there's a lot of, in just day and age, there's so much whitewashing and labeling that looks to be something, but is really something else. So we do get a tremendous amount of questions and it just makes it fun to be able to be truthful and deliver on what we say we are and who we are.
Absolutely. And I will say, most pest control companies I see around town have like a bug as their logo or, part of their marketing. And your brand, your logo makes me smile. It's completely different. And I don't know how you would describe it, Gordon. It's kind of like a smiley face flower situation, but it's so fun. And so I'm curious, why didn't you go the traditional, bug route?
Yeah. Back to our core purpose. It's not about bugs. It's about people, the planet, and the environment. And what better way to show that is with a flower. So it's very unique in pest control. You see our truck, instead of any of those creatures, you see a flower going by. And we get that a lot. And it's funny because kids will call and parents will call and say, my daughter's like, hey, look, there's that smile. There's that flower truck again. Oh. And the kids recognize the truck, and it'll be pointed out to their mom. So it's fun. We have stickers and tattoos that we give out to the kids, and they really, over a flower, they really enjoy that.
Oh,
it's
that's
a cute
so
logo,
fun.
and we get that a lot. It is fun. Yeah.
So I want to talk a little bit more about, you just being an entrepreneur. So as a serial entrepreneur, I'm sure you have been through a lot of highs and lows when it comes to building companies. What is one lesson from your early ventures that has really shaped the way that you show up today?
Um, I I've been labeled earlier in my career. I was labeled the disappointed dad. I I wanted us to win. I wanted us to grow whatever business I was and make a difference, and badly to the point where it got miscrewed as um, selfishness behavior potentially, that I wanted me to win and not us to win. Um, and I wanted everything to happen super fast. I've always thought that everything just it's going to happen overnight, and so all that just would lead me to feel or look and express disappointment. And I've learned that over my career that the journey is what makes this whole thing enjoyable. So smelling the roses and celebrating success with the team and slowing down has really helped me appreciate and show appreciation to the folks around me that work with me. And that's been a game changer for our culture and our team and our growth is giving back and saying thank you, showing up. I have a 12 pack of chips that showed up to the office that I came across I thought were fantastic for the team on Friday, sitting in their office and getting out in the trenches. I like to get out and cry at the house once a month with the team
Mm.
and just show up and be with them. And it's been a game changer. So slowing down, pumping the brakes and slowing down. My expectations actually sped us up. Being present and being in the now and not expecting everything to happen overnight. And so that's really been something I've learned over my career is it's going to happen. And it's going to actually happen slower if the way that I was approaching folks, because I wasn't being that caring boss. I came across too abrasive.
Mm.
And even though I cared, they just weren't seeing it. And it was something I learned in my career to step back and appreciate, replace expectations with appreciation is what I learned from a good friend of ours,
I
Andis
love that. I
Shepherd.
love that.
So
Yes, Andis we're definitely gonna have on here. So I love that. And I think that that's so important and when it's such a hard lesson, right? It's such a hard thing to recognize and put into practice. But I also think when you say slowing down, you don't mean slow down the successes, but your perspective throughout it and how you're approaching it and um, the way you're acting through that or what your action looks like through that. Is that correct?
yeah, absolutely. It was more the way that I was showing up. I was
Yeah.
showing up as in, hurry up, everybody. And that didn't
Mhm.
make things move faster. What makes things move faster is showing up and caring and asking qualifying questions and setting deadlines. My anger was got in the way of my ability to communicate well with the team. And folks don't want to work for a guy who shows up angry and disappointed. They want to work for somebody like Ruben back at McDonald's who
Yeah.
asked, How are you doing today? Well, this is what we're going to do today. Can you help me out?" And we all win together.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I love that.
Another
Love that.
thing that comes to mind, another thing that comes to mind that have bad things. I've realized that bad things are going to happen when you're in business. There's going to be surprises that happen. And
Mhm.
when they happen early on in my career, I thought it was over. It was the end. We're in a lawsuit because we get a fender bender. Well, that's what you have insurance for. So understanding that those bad things are going to happen. And when they happen with the newer folks on my team, it's easier for me to say, there it is. We'll get through this and we'll just keep moving forward, whatever it is, because they're going to happen. And it helped them through those situations when things happen along the way because it's just part of business. It
Yeah.
just doesn't rocket ship. There's things that happen along the way. So it's been helpful
That's
to,
right. And everybody's always going to look to you as the leader and what your actions are in those moments for sure.
absolutely.
Another thing I want to share about you, Gordon, that I know is you spend time, you don't have a lot of extra time, but you spend time coaching other entrepreneurs. Why is that important to you on top of, your full-time responsibilities with your businesses?
Yeah. What's important to me is it's the same, my same personal mission is to make a different impact. And if I can help somebody avoid the mistakes that I made,
Mm.
take some shortcuts along the way, I always say the best way to learn from someone's mistake is by learning from someone else's mistake, not your own. Skip over
Yeah.
it. So if I can get out there and make a difference in another entrepreneur's life and avoid them from some of the headaches and mistakes that I made along the way, oh man, that just warms my heart and gives me such a great feeling of gratification. So, and it really helps them out. I'm passionate about making a difference, and that's just another way for me to
Mm.
show it and help out the community.
Yeah, well, thank you so
Absolutely.
much for doing that. And I want to know from you, just in the coaching that you've done, what are some of the most common challenges you see entrepreneurs facing right now?
Yeah. So what I find is a lot of them, they don't, the folks I'm coaching, the biggest impact that I've had is simply just explain the rules of the game from the P&L standpoint.
Hmm.
What I find is a lot of folks will make decisions based on just gut and not reflect on their P&L and understand the rules and the impact it has. And the team that I've been coaching over the years, I constantly see them coming in with a lot of concerns about I'm not profitable, I'm not making money, I don't know if I can stay in business. And what we do is we sit down and we start with the P&L and we define what the gross margin must be, what their sales and marketing percentage of income must be, and what their general and admin percentage of income must be. And we figure out where they're at. And once we set the rules of the game and they start playing within those rules, by the end of the year, it's amazing to see how successful these guys have been. They just really
Wow.
turn their businesses around. So starting with the fundamentals of how to play the game and having those tough decisions to get the game and to get back into the game requires sometimes it's family members that you have to have conversations with.
Hmm.
That can be very challenging.
Yeah. And do you see entrepreneurs at times maybe getting in their own way of success? And how do you talk them through that?
Yeah, uh, that's a great question. Um, Typically, they do. That's a challenge. If you're an entrepreneur, you're typically very strong-willed and motivated. Um, the best way that I do that is just starting with the rules of the game and let them see it themselves and stepping back. What I like to do is start with the rules of the game, the P&L, and have them build their org chart of what supports the rules of the game. Because once they have the org chart of what that looks like, and then the last step, we started putting the SOPs together for each position, the org chart, it starts coming to fruition. They start seeing what this thing looks like. And I can show them and tell them what it looks like, but a lot of these folks need to see it and do it and touch it themselves. Being an entrepreneur, I noticed that myself. I'll take what I want to hear, but not what I don't. So,
Isn't that the truth?
yeah,
But as you talked about, you were with your disappointed dad and having to shift away from that and, you know, shift your approach, I think that was you recognizing getting in your own way. And it's
yeah,
hard because that change has to be within you, right?
yeah,
For
yeah,
sure. As we look at, service-based businesses, home service businesses over the next 5 to 10 years, you're always on the forefront. So what do you see in terms of opportunities for these businesses?
yeah. Well, AI is going to be very impactful in
Mhm.
every industry. We're already
Yep.
seeing the impact it's having. I'm very excited what it's going to do in our industry. I I'm foreseeing the future of our industry having superhumans. Mike, I don't see us needing to lay off or whatnot, but what I do foresee is our current staff having the opportunity to move a lot faster, so as to be able to do a lot more with the support of AI. I'm very excited about what I'm seeing as far as how AI is going to impact my office support team and what they're able to do as far as pulling customers' information and open spots on the schedule, and where you can place a customer, and making it a lot easier for a customer to get what questions they have answered and service quickly. So I foresee a huge shift in the way that we do things, all the tasky stuff inside our office being able to be supported by AI to really expedite our abilities to perform. Even out in the field, we're looking at robots now that can go underneath the house and check for holes with remote control devices and cameras instead of us crawling the house. That are fantastic, to be pretty fantastic. Drones flying over homes to see holes and entry points. So there's a lot of things happening where we'll be able to get out there, identify situations quickly, and support the customer and getting those things fixed faster. So that's really exciting without having to beef up our staff. These folks that we currently have will have more opportunities to succeed within our company. So totally looking forward to the next 5 to 10 years. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that. I love your outlook on, making your team superhumans, because I think that's such a great way for everybody to think about it versus having a fear-based approach to what AI can do. So I appreciate you sharing that, because I think that rings true to a lot of businesses as well. Now, there are 2 questions, Gordon, that I love to ask every entrepreneur, and I can't wait to hear your answers. So the first one is, who are you in addition to being a CEO?
Oh, and that's a good question. I'm a very, very loyal friend. I'm a father. I'm a husband. I'm goofy. I'm a very playful, goofy guy. That was my nickname in high school, was Goofy, because I just like to be silly all the time. I love getting out and dancing. I love music. But yeah, I really, really enjoy time with the family and the kids. My son is 18 and he's in college, and my daughter's 20 in college. So whenever I can get them to play with me and do something, that really lights me up. And that's where I want to spend most of my time, is playing with my kids. But they're at the age now where they don't want dad around anymore. They're all running off and hanging out with friends and doing the college stuff. But yeah, and I'm passionate about work. I'm in my 50s now, and I know that my son, it's funny, my son came to me and he said, "Dad, I don't know if I want to be an entrepreneur. You're working all the time. You're always working." And I said, "Son, this is me playing. This isn't work. What you see as work, I see as play. I'm so happy I'm on my computer and working on projects and doing things. This is really fun." So my perception and the way that I see work is, it's just who I am. It is my toy. It is my hobby. It's my playground too. So
that's powerful. And I bet once he finds that thing that ignites him, he'll feel the same way.
Absolutely.
And the second question I have for you is, what is the impact that you want to have at the end of every single day?
That's a good question. That's a really good question. I definitely want to feel like I showed up for my team and they feel supported by me. That's important. I want the environment and the folks that touch me to smile. My goal is to touch 500,000 people by the time I die and put a smile on their face. So it's more about the folks that come in contact with me throughout the day, is how I leave them, and that's the way I like to leave each day. So
I love that, with the smile. And I'm sure anybody listening to this will be smiling at the end of it. So I appreciate you sharing just so much wisdom with us, Gordon. If anybody is interested in learning about Natran or you or any of your other businesses, where can they find you?
Well, the best way is to shoot me an email.
You're going to give out your email?
Yeah.
This is gold, y'all.
All right. they can shoot an email over to natran.com. That's natran.com.
Cool.
Go to our website. Yeah, you can see me on there, and you can certainly reach me through. You call the office, and they'll forward you to my direct line. Anybody'd like to personally reach out to me. So
I love it. Email and a direct line. Best guess ever.
yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Gordon. And y'all make sure to check out Natran. They are amazing. They will make you smile. Gordon will make you smile. And we just appreciate everything that you've shared and that you're willing to share so many stories and things that you've been through on your entrepreneurial journey. I know anybody listening will gain so much value from this conversation. So thank you so much for being on the show, and we'll see y'all next time.